And we're live. I told you I'm going to see you again this day. So now with me, I've got Cognizant Softvision, the Java track partners for DevCon, and Alex. Hey, how are you?
Hey.
So
Doing
Alex
good?
Thank you so much. Alex is a community lead, full stack development here, and full stack web community. And maybe you can tell us a few words about yourself before we get started.
Sure. So I'm Alex. Nowadays, I am what we call a community lead here in Cognizant Softvision. Started off my career in about 2008, I think, as a front-end developer, mostly ActionScript 2.0, 3.0, way back in the day when Adobe and Flash and Flex was a thing. Then moved on to regular web development with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. In about 2012, when I moved to Cognizant Softvision, and I stuck around. It's been a little over 10 years now. Yeah, and that's pretty much my career progression in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's so cool. I wanted to talk to you because Cognizant Softvision have been our friends for like a lot of events for DevCon and the live that we're doing and past events as well. And maybe you have 2 or 3 reasons why a specialist should decide to work for your organization.
Yeah, there's a bunch. If I were to call out 2 or 3, I'd have to say that one of the best things about collaborating with Cognizant Softvision, at least in my view, is access to a whole lot of talented, passionate people that you can learn a lot from. That's always been one of our strong points, and it's why we take so much pride in our communities. We work with people across the globe in the U.S. and Canada and Mexico, Argentina, Romania, Ukraine, Australia, India, Philippines. So that really opens the door to a lot of different cultures, and you can really learn a lot from that. So it's a good environment to grow not only as a professional but also as a person. You also get access to top tier clients with pretty complex business needs. What that translates to is typically pretty challenging work that will keep you engaged and will end up accelerating your growth both on the technical front but also on the business and soft skills side of things. And last but not least, I'd have to highlight another big plus that you're going to get out of working with us, being the ability to experiment with all sorts of tech stacks on our research and development projects, or R&D projects for short. So if you're the curious type, if you're always looking to broaden your horizons and new tools, experiment with various libs or various frameworks, or even programming languages that may be outside of what you do on your main project, we can set aside a bit of time for you to do just that on one of our community projects. So those are, I think, the top 3 things that come to mind as things that someone joining the company would get out of the collaboration.
Yeah, well, I want to expand a little bit on everything that you've said because there are some really good points there. And maybe start with, how do you see personally the future of work? I mean, I see we're both working from home right now. And how do you think this is going to change, and how do you see it in this time frame that we are right now?
Mhm. Well, there's a bunch of things that I would bring up um, um, as aspects that would characterize the future of work. There's in this space that we are right now. I'd have to say that flexibility is going to be um, a major point of discussion. There's a good degree of flexibility in how we work today. If you were to think about the first days of the pandemic,
Mhm.
when we all had to move from working in an office to working out of our homes or our bedrooms, that was a major turning point. Now, this flexibility that we're seeing right now, that counts for both when and where we work, because we feel that today's workforce puts a really high value on having the ability to define their own working schedule. So I'm sure that we'll see a lot of flexibility and optionality from everybody in this regard, particularly in our industry.
Mhm.
And there's also a couple of other aspects that come to mind when thinking about the future of work. We're seeing a bunch of trends across the industry that I feel should be highlighted. For one, there's a huge amount of data that tech businesses need to process these days.
Mhm.
So we're seeing a lot of investment in artificial intelligence and then machine learning to automate and to improve what were previously tedious manual processes. And we're seeing a lot of tooling in this space. You might have heard GPT-3 for
Mhm.
complex language models or DALI 2 for image generation based on snippets of natural language. And there's also lots of support for various AI and ML models across all sorts of programming languages. So there's a lot of room for experimentation and on that front. We're also seeing a lot of businesses moving their data to live in the cloud.
Mhm.
So in tomorrow's tech world, we'll likely see a diminishing need for on-prem infrastructure, although that's probably still going to have a place in the industry. But when it comes to cloud, once you get past the hassle of getting things set up properly from the get-go, then it becomes really easy to iterate and to integrate. So that's why I feel there's going to be a lot of talk in the future about cloud. We're already seeing it today. And there's also a large degree of interest in the developer community to adopt such tooling to make their businesses' lives easier. So that's pretty much a no-brainer that's where the industry is headed.
Yeah.
And I think last but not least, another trend that we're seeing is businesses starting to invest in augmented reality or virtual reality. Um, these open up a whole range of possibilities for tomorrow's app that we wouldn't have even dreamed about today. So it'll be interesting to see where these avenues take us in the future.
Yeah, I can't wait for myself. I can't wait for the AR to become more of a thing right now. But I want to get back a little bit and talk about yourself a bit. But I wanted to ask you, you've said you've been with Cognizant for what, about 10 years now?
A little
Around
over,
that?
yeah.
A
Hmm.
little over 10 years. How has Cognizant helped you achieve your career goals? I think you had probably set up some career goals, and how did the company help you gain those?
Hmm. Well, um, I feel that it's all about the opportunities in the end. I don't think there's
Mhm.
any company out there that's going to do the hard work for you. What a good company will do is provide context for people to grow. That can mean anything from having a challenging project to a solid team that you can work with and that you can learn from, to easy access to learning materials or to
Mhm.
mentorship, to uh, proper support, to even just enough room for experimenting and carving out your own path, your own career for yourself. And that's what we try to do here at Cognizant Softvision. We try to provide space for people to grow. We provide the challenges and the support that they need, and we simply get out of their way and we let them do their thing. In my own experience, that meant having the opportunity to, for example, take part in technical interviews, technical assessments for potential future colleagues, having the opportunity to travel abroad and connect face to face with clients and try to pick their brains on what are their biggest pain points, where they see their businesses heading, and how we might be able to help them develop their businesses. Then I also had the opportunity to lead a handful of project teams, and I'm now at a point where I'm able to provide career guidance and support for my community group, which more than tripled in size over the last couple of years. So it's been a bit of a responsibility, but also a large deal of satisfaction that I got out of these opportunities. Um, so yeah, all of these helped shape the professional that I am today, and I'm really
Mhm.
grateful for having had the opportunities.
Well, that sounds really cool. And you kind of answered my next question because I wanted to ask you what makes Cognizant Softvision one of the best employers and companies on the market right now in Romania? Because in all our tops, even the most desired employer survey and stuff like that, you're scoring way high. So, are there some tricks that you're not telling the rest of us?
Well, that's awesome to hear that we're already scoring where we want to score.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd have to say that our biggest asset is definitely our people. Now we've got pretty cool projects, and
Mhm.
we work with all sorts of technologies, from the new and shiny to well-established, battle-proven enterprise tools. But it's the people that make it all happen. They're the reason we've been successful across our many endeavors over the years. Um, that's that's why I stuck around for over 10 years
Over
now.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from the many people that I've interacted with over these years. I've found a few good mentors, and I dare say that I had the privilege of mentoring a couple of generations myself, which uh, had its own uh, satisfactions. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'd have to pick people as the one thing that I think brings the most value to Cognizant Softvision.
Well, you say people, but and this is a question that I've been asking around a bunch of people that work in tech. Like, how can a technology business just build access and retain this tech talent? Because I know it's a dog eat dog world between companies, and it's really hard to attract really good tech talent right now, and it's getting
Hmm.
harder from what I hear.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think it's important for people to feel that they're part of something bigger,
Mhm.
that they're making a difference, that they're contributing to something that's worthwhile. Now, any business that wants to succeed would do well to keep that in mind, both when hiring, but also when seeking a new business. Talented people won't stick around for long if they don't identify with who you are and where you're headed as a company. I feel it's important for businesses to have a vision that people can connect with. It's important to pay the attention to the things that you as a company value. And it's important to stay true to those things, even if sometimes that means you might lose a bit of business in the short term. What you want to do is you want to keep people challenged and engaged. You'll want to provide room for them to grow. You'll want to make them feel part of something bigger than themselves, that they belong, that they're valued, and that they're listened to. Um, you want to do your best to show that their efforts do end up moving things in the right direction, according to yours and their values. Because in the end, it's not just about the shiniest tech or nailing the biggest clients or even the pay. It's about making a difference. So,
Yeah,
so
doing
long
something
as
worthwhile. Yeah.
yeah, so long as people genuinely feel that they belong and then that they're making a difference, they'll have little reason to look for alternatives.
Yeah. Well, now I know you're not hiring just anyone here at Cognizant, and my next question is, what strengths do you think are the most important for someone to join your company and to work for you?
Mhm. Now, for a good number of years, I had the impression that um, solid technical skills alone are the most important thing in a software developer's tool belt.
Hmm.
And well, I still believe that that's true, at least to some extent. I've come to believe that the right attitude is a bit more important.
Okay.
Because if you have the right attitude, if you're open to challenges, if you've got the drive to learn and to constantly improve, um, if you strive to make things work, to move things forward, I think that's more important, and at least in the grand scheme of things, than the amount of technical knowledge that you may hold at a certain point in time. Because you can always augment your tech skills if you've got the
Mhm.
right attitude, but you can seldom, if ever, mend the wrong attitude simply with solid technical skills. So, in short, I'd say openness to challenges,
Mhm.
willingness to learn, drive to move things forward. Obviously, good problem analysis and problem solving skills. That's a must in this industry, and a good technical foundation on which to build.
To grow. Yeah.
Yeah, these are probably the most important skills that we're looking in for and the people that we choose to collaborate with.
Hmm. Well, what about yourself, Alex? I mean, what drew you to the tech industry? Like, you started working in tech in what, 2008, something like that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, what made you decide? You know what, tech is for me.
yeah. Well, as I'm sure many of the people listening, I too am one of those people who spent countless days and nights playing Snake on their parents' Nokia 3310 or
Yep.
Age of Empires, Red Alert, StarCraft, or just even plain solitaire. I think that's what lures many of us to the field initially. But then for me, it was also a case of constant curiosity and the excitement that I felt whenever I built something that works and that saves
Mhm.
somebody a bit of time or helps them in some way. So those are the aspects that I've always tried to look for in a job. I'd also like to think that I have a reasonably good ability to analyze a problem, to split it into bite-sized chunks, and then take a hammer to it, or well, in my case, keyboards to it, and try to fix it. And this line of business, there's plenty of that. So it's what keeps me interested and engaged.
All right. Cool. And one final question that I've been asking everyone. that I had interviews with. Do you have any advice for aspiring tech people and how they can grow in the tech industry?
Hmm. Yeah. Advice is a bit of a difficult one because I don't know if I can come up with anything that's all encompassing, but I'll
Hmm.
do my best to try to come up with an answer that's helpful and sensible.
Hmm.
Um, I'd say stay curious. Don't let a day go by where you don't learn something new. Always strive to augment what you know today. Look for new perspectives. Look for new approaches. Play around with various tools or frameworks or even programming languages, different programming paradigms. Um, Ask for more whenever you feel the need, whenever you feel you're getting comfortable or that you know enough. Start digging a bit deeper. Start looking for nuances. Start trying to refine the knowledge that you have. Find challenges for yourself. Come up with ways to improve your workflow, or your processes, your code base, your applications. Never settle for your comfort zone. That's a
Hmm.
pretty big one in my book. Also, keep in mind to be patient. We live in a work environment that's really fast paced, so it's
Yeah.
easy to fall into the trap of always rushing things. And I've seen that throughout my years in various individuals. Um, do realize that there are some things that take time, and particularly if you're interested in quality over quantity, as we are. Um, so learn to take a step back and try to see the bigger picture and try to pay attention to details and avoid rushing things. And also, last but not least, probably keep sharp. Um,
Hmm.
because the technical landscape is constantly changing around us. You don't need to be intimidated by it. Rather, um, accept that you'll never know everything that there is to know. It's pretty much impossible. So don't set a standard that's that high for yourself. Focus instead on staying relevant. Watch for trends and stay open for the next big wave. And be prepared to switch when technology inevitably becomes
Becomes redundant.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because you might know something today that in a year from now, in 10 years from now, no longer has any value. I had that same challenge way back when I originally moved to Softvision. I had to change from ActionScript
Hmm.
to JavaScript. It wasn't that big of a leap because they're both based on ECMAScript. But I do see a lot of friction in people when they need to change. Initially, I went for Ruby instead of JavaScript. It was
Hmm.
simply a case of life happening and steering me back to this
Yeah.
one. But yeah, seek to understand the fundamentals of software development rather than just a shallow understanding of the bright and shiny tool of the day, and you'll probably be fine. So yeah, that's to sum up in a nutshell. I'd say stay curious,
Hmm.
ask for more, be patient, and keep sharp.
Yeah. Keep sharp. And again, that learner's mentality needs to stick with you. And you've also said not get frustrated when if you have to change something or
Absolutely,
change platforms. Yeah, make the change.
absolutely.
Alex,
Hmm.
thank you so much for being with us. As I've mentioned in the beginning, Cognizance of Vision, our Java Track partners, are going to have a keynote on the 9th of November. I can't wait. This is going to be live on location. And of course, you're going to have a masterclass on November 9th as well, but that's going to be online. So, again, huge thank you for being with us. And we can't wait to see you live as well. See you.
See ya.